Hello and welcome back to another podcast with me, Foxy No-Tail, here in my computer room. Oh no, wait, you're not here, are you? You're the other side of the internet. Hello over there, nice to see you. Anyway, silly intros aside, today is a day that comes in the week and I'm recording a podcast on it. I have no idea what to say. I've got a plan. I do have a plan, honest. I'm not making it up as I go along. And this week is a little bit going to be all over the place because I've got lots of different things I want to talk about rather than like one or two big things. So it's going to be different and it's going to hopefully be interesting and hopefully we're going to cover some important key topics. So that's the plan anyway, and I am sorry last week there was no podcast. I know it was only going to be my fourth one and I'm already one behind. Things are crazy, which brings me nicely into talking about my week. So technically, my weeks, what have I done the last couple of weeks? I have travelled and travelled and travelled. My work has been taking me here, there and everywhere. I feel like I've hardly even been at home. Although I've been coming home pretty much every night. I've just been away so much in the day. Last Wednesday, I had to drive to South Wales. I'm back in one day for a 5-minute meeting. It was a complete waste of time. And it was 10 hours worth of driving for the pleasure of it. So, lots of wasted time, lots of travelling, lots of work stuff going on. But outside of work, I have finally finished Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I think. I don't actually know if I've finished it because there doesn't seem to be an ending. I've done all of the quests, and there's like lots of different quests, or they're called Odysseys. And I got some like cut screens to sort of suggest that those quests were finished. And apparently, according to YouTube and the internet, I got the good ending. The decisions I made in the game just so happened to make sure that everybody lived and I got the good ending, which is really nice. I didn't intend it to be that way. I played the game from my own, you can either be a really nasty person in it or you could be a nice person in it. And I thought, I played it fairly nice, that middle of the line. I didn't play it nasty, and I just thought, I want my hero to be a hero. I don't want them to just be this nasty person. And it worked out well. It worked out in my favour, which is good. Although apparently I missed the end boss battle because instead of fighting, we talked it out and convinced the baddie with words rather than fighting, which is a bit of a shame because I was really looking forward to a boss battle. But yeah, that's good. So that's really good. They have, since I've done that, they've actually released a patch which has allowed you to level up even further, and they've added some more quests into the game. So I might pop back into it at some point and do a little bit more on there. But for now, I'm happy that that's finished. What else have I been doing this week? Or the last 2 weeks? Yeah, some weird stuff's been going on. It's not really weird, but I'm having, I guess, issues. They're not really issues, but just like miscommunication and problems with people, particularly joining the Discord, who really, really, really want to be a part of the Bedrock realm or the server, and they're quite obviously under 18. We have set a limit of over 18s on there, and we've had to make it that you can only join by pledging on Patreon, which might sound like I'm just asking for everybody's money and I'm doing it from a money perspective. It's not that. It is literally the easiest and simplest way of verifying somebody's age and intent. People don't pay for a monthly subscription to something that they just want to join in, ruin for everybody, and then leave again. They don't do it. So far, we've had 100% success rate, people joining through Patreon, which is really nice. And I'll probably get suggestions from this podcast as well, but I get loads and loads and loads of people saying, why don't you do an interview thing? Why don't you ask questions? Why don't you make it an application? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? All the other ideas everybody's come up with involves me having to do a ton of admin, a ton of work. And then people go, we'll get one of the people that join the realm to do it. Get someone else to do it. No, somebody, if you do any sort of application or process or interview or anything like that, somebody has got to spend hours looking through them all and weeding out what's good and what's bad. And people say, you can send screenshots of their builds and stuff. I don't care what level of builder somebody is that joins the realm or the server. They could be the worst Minecrafter in the world. As long as they behave themselves and they're a nice person, it doesn't matter how good they are. We're not using, I'm not interested in trying to find the best Minecrafters to join. I really couldn't care less of their level or whether they're good. What I care about is that when the people that are paying me to join the world log on, I want them to feel safe that their stuff is where they left it and their builds haven't been demolished and there isn't just huge craters in the ground because people have decided to have fun blowing up TNT. We're not, it's not a mess around realm, it's not a mess around server. They're relatively serious. I mean, we have fun and we do pranks and things like that, but it's, I guess, we're trying, in a way, to emulate Hermitcraft in their attitude towards playing the game. They're having fun, they're enjoying playing Minecraft, and none of them have to even worry about hiding their stuff or, someone coming along and breaking anything, because everybody on the Hermitcraft server is verified, everybody knows each other, and it's a really pleasant experience. And playing on my Bedrock realm and playing on my Java server is the same thing. It's over 18s only, because regardless of whether you're under 18 and you think you're really mature and really sensible, until you're over 18, well, to be honest, until you're sort of mid-20s, it's questionable. You think you know everything when you're that age. Jack, my son, is 13. He thinks he knows everything, but he doesn't. And I thought I knew everything at his age as well. There's a big difference when you're under 18 and mature and have good ideas and, you think you know how the world works, to when you're older than that and you sort of start realising as you get older that you know a lot less than you thought you did, and the world becomes a much more complicated place, and all of a sudden you're aware of other people and how they do things differently and how they might react to certain things that you do. All of a sudden you realise as you hit sort of mid-20s, early 30s, oh, I know nothing about the world, and I really do need to consider my actions and how I speak to people and everything like that, so I don't offend people, because my gung-ho attitude that I have when I was a younger person, just gets on people's nerves, or, rubs up people the wrong way. You might think you're having a great time, might think you're being playful and just having a bit of fun, but someone might really take it the wrong way. So it's really difficult, even for really sensible, kids that, or younger people that, try really hard to be mature. They just don't get it. I know some people do. Some people do. There are a couple of under 18s on the server and the realm that came before we added that age limit, and they are really good. They're just like dealing with the adults. It's really nice to have them there. I couldn't put them down if I tried. But the majority of people that cause problems on the Discord, either by swearing or being stupid or just griefing or trying to hack it or anything like that, they're all under 18. They're all a pain in my rear end, and they're just not welcome on the server. Not because I can't tell if they're good or they're bad until I actually deal with them face to face or through the game, and I don't want to have to go through that with everyone. I don't want it to be every time I add somebody to the server a worry that they might be all right for a day, but tomorrow I might log in and everything's gone completely to pot. It's just not worth the hassle, and I don't have all the time in the world to deal with these people and to go through applications and go through interviews and all that sort of stuff. I just want it to be nice and easy, so that's why we have Patreon. And I've gone on for that for a long while, but that, it keeps coming back again. I did videos about it, I talk about it, I explain it in the Discord, it's written on my website, but I still get people like this week joining in the Discord and going, I want to join your realm, and we're like, no, you can't, because you're too young, but I want to join and I'll be really good. And then they end up getting really upset because we don't let them join and they start swearing, and then we have to ban them from the Discord, and it just goes to prove that they're not suitable. One particular person seemed really nice in the Discord, and they probably are a really nice person, but we said to them, I'm really sorry you can't join, you're not old enough, and they went, well, there's no point in me being here then, and they quit the Discord. And I thought, well, that's fine, you don't have to be here. But that leads me to the question, why did they bother come into the Discord, or why do they want to be on my realm if they're not interested in my channel and my content? They just wanted to be on the realm. I don't get it. If they were interested in my channel and my content, they would have stayed on the Discord regardless of whether they were on the realm or not, I think, anyway. But they were like, oh, well, I'm not going to get on the realm, so I'm going to leave the Discord as well. And I don't think they did it in a petty way, like, oh, well, I've had enough, I'm rage quitting. They were just like, oh, well, the only reason I am here was to get on the realm. I can't get on the realm, so I'm off. And they put that's what they wrote as they left the Discord, which I just found really, really weird. The other thing that winds me up when people suggest it is they go, oh, well, we're too poor. We're too poor to join. And I'm not putting down poor people or people without a great deal of money or anything like that. I would never, ever do that. I know a lot of people struggle. A lot of people struggle to make ends meet. And I would, yes, there is a paywall to join, but it's not there to single out people that don't have money. And I appreciate not everybody's got money. But joining a Minecraft server is a matter of priority. It's nothing to do with money. Our Chaos Realm, it's $1, sorry. It's $1 a month, which is less than your morning coffee. So it's a matter of priority. I don't think it's unaffordable for most people. Yes, it probably is for kids because they don't have the money for it, but they're not invited anyway. But for adults, you've got to make a decision. If you really, really want to do something, you can work to do it. You could go, right, okay, I want $1 a month to do that. I'm going to stop having these candy bars. I'm going to stop having this, this morning coffee, or I'm not going to go to McDonald's this week, or something like that. Or they'll just have to go, look, I can't afford it, so I'm not going to do it. I'll have to do something else. As an adult, you can rationalise that and go, do you know what? That would be really good fun to join, but it's not worth my money. I've got better things to spend my money on. And I completely agree with it. There's loads of things that I'd love to do, I'd love to buy, and I just think, no, it's not worth it. It's not worth spending the money on. And that's a decision you make as an adult. If you're making that decision, if you're moaning that $1 a month is too expensive as an adult because you want to play, then you've got to consider where your attitude is on it and why you feel that you should be entitled to play for free. Because I don't know how to explain it. It's really weird. It's a really weird one to get your head round, because in my head, if I couldn't afford to do something, I wouldn't moan about it, and I wouldn't go, oh, that's not fair, you want to charge me money for it. I'd just go, well, I can't afford it, so I won't do it. It doesn't bother me. It's like if I went, I want a Ferrari, I'm going to go to the Ferrari dealership and buy a Ferrari and then get really mad at the salesman because it's too expensive. It's like, well, no, I should have expected that when I went in, really. So yeah, anyway, that's enough of that. I'm talking about that. So we're still in my week, believe it or not. We're getting quite a long way into this podcast and we're still in my week. So yeah, that bothered me. That really bothers me when people, they log on the Discord, they're rude, they direct message me, they message everybody, they go in all the different chat channels thinking that, they're trying to get my attention. Can I join? Can I join? Can I join? And I keep saying, look, just if you want to join, go on the website. If you meet the requirements, yeah, great, join. If you don't, then I'm really sorry, but tough. And people get really upset about it, and I don't get it. I really don't get it. So that's that. In Minecraft, on the Bedrock edition, in my latest videos, I completed my sort of automatic wheat farm. It didn't really go as planned. I thought I had a really nice idea. I thought I had a really good idea. But Bedrock edition being Bedrock edition, the lag and the timings really killed it. The redstone timings have absolutely made it not really work so good. And as a result, it's just basically wasting bone meal, because the wheat doesn't always grow, because you hit a lag spike, it all goes out of sync, and yeah, it wastes the bone meal, the wheat doesn't grow, and it's just, it's okay, it works, it does the job. I'm going to get loads of wheat from it, don't get me wrong, it's not completely broken, it's just not as good as I wanted it to be. So it's a little bit disappointing, but it does work okay. On Java Edition, I've pretty much finished my house on Saturday's video, which is recorded but not out yet. You will see that I'm starting to work on the redstone inside for the doors and things like that, so that's going to be interesting. But I haven't really played a great deal of either of those apart from recording the videos this week or last week, because I just haven't had time. I've just been too busy with work. I've been here, there and everywhere. I've hardly had any chance to go on the computer whatsoever. So yeah, just haven't had time. So anyway, that's my week. Coming up, we've got the news, we've got a Q&A, we've got discussing things, and then the end, believe it or not. So that's how this podcast's going to go. Speaking of news, Minecraft snapshots are coming through thick and fast. In the latest one, we got lanterns, which I haven't played with yet, but they look amazing. I'm really excited to play with the lanterns. It's about time, and I think they're going to look really good on my Java Edition house. Something like that, something like a lantern that you can hang from the ceiling and it actually looks like a light fitting rather than just a weird redstone lamp or glowstone block, I think's fantastic. It would be great if we could colour them different colours. It would be great if we could put them on the wall as well. It would be great if we could extend the chain as well, so we could make the chain dangle longer and make like chandeliers and things. But to be honest, the fact that they've just added it in as it is, I'm happy enough. That's good enough for me. Yes, it could be improved, but yeah, I'm really, really happy about that. As we talked about, I've had to deal with people on Discord. I've had to ban somebody. In fact, 2 people have been banned this week. Someone I banned for being just generally rude and disruptive, and someone else got banned by one of my moderators for swearing as well. And I'm going to come on to swearing soon. That is this topic's discussion today is all about swearing. Before I carry on, I just want to say that if you want to get hold of me, you can do. There's lots of ways to get hold of me. You can get me on Twitter, which is at Foxy No-Tail. Obviously, I've got my Discord server. You'll find a link to that on my website, which is FoxyNoTail.com. If you wanted to join my Bedrock Edition world or my Java survival server, then details for joining that are on FoxyNoTail.com. I have a YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/FoxyNoTail, where I put out a couple of videos a week on the Bedrock and Java edition of the game. And also, if you want to support me, I am on patreon.com/FoxyNoTail. Your support is always appreciated, but if you don't want to support me on Patreon, or if you can't for whatever reason, then just liking and sharing this podcast and my videos is really helpful. Or joining on Discord and giving us your ideas, or joining in the conversation and the community. Ideas, questions, feedback is always welcome, and I really, really do appreciate the support. So thanks very much. Anyway, let's crack on with the podcast. Next, we're going to go on to the Q&A, and we've got 3 questions today. The first one is from Ultimus Prime, and he asked me a question on Discord. What would you think if they added wind to the overworld in Minecraft? Now, he means wind as in, like, the environmental wind, rather than eating too many Brussels sprouts, and yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest, and I think it would be a really weird thing for them to add into the game, because I don't think it would add anything at all. I think it would be really interesting, but I don't, yeah, it's not, it doesn't feel Minecrafty to me. But let's discuss what it could mean for the game. And now, he actually had a bit of a chat with another member of my Discord, which is Fantasy Novel, and they were talking about the different things that they thought wind could be useful for on the Discord, and they were saying about, you know, Elytra. If you had wind, it would be hard to fly into the wind, but then if you were going in the other direction, you could fly really fast and not have to use many rockets, which is a good idea. And they were on about using like magma blocks in order to create updrafts that could like lift you up in the air. So rather than using rockets again, you could use an updraft from a hot block, if you like, to push you higher in the air. I don't really have anything to add to this, really. I think it would be a nice idea, but I just think it's pointless, because it won't add anything into the game. How can it help you? How can it affect the game? We don't have many environmental things like that. We've got rain, I suppose, and snow, which again, rain's completely pointless. If they actually made it so rain made things grow, that would be great. But it doesn't. It's pointless. I think it's an annoyance in the game, to be honest. I know they've added it that you can use Elytra in the rain to fly around with Riptide, but to be honest, that's rubbish as well. It really is. And yeah, rain's pointless. Snow's pointless, but it looks nice, but it blurs your vision. You can't really see much. The only thing that's any fun is the thunderstorms. I really like the thunderstorms in Minecraft. And yeah, if we had like little tornadoes and stuff like that wind blew and things like that would be nice. But if you're going to start adding wind, then you're going to have to start adding in destruction as well, and things being blown about, which I don't like the idea of. I don't like these things that grief your game, like in the game, like creepers. Creepers are okay, they're a bit of fun, but Enderman griefing's just so annoying and so unnecessary. You get your world looking just perfect, and then you go to it one day and there's this random grass block just sat in the middle of it, or like a block missing somewhere, and you just think, why? Why does that exist? Now, if you had wind and storms, you're going to have it so the wind can, you know, mess things up a bit. Where do you go with that? Is it going to break your crops? Is it going to move your blocks around? Is it going to only affect certain blocks? Is it going to blow the leaves off trees? Is it going to make things a mess? I don't know. I'm sorry about that one. I'm going to be a big negative ninny on that one and say, no, I don't like the idea of having wind in Minecraft. I think it would be great if you could like catch an updraft or use like wind to fly with Elytra, but we've got rockets, we've got tridents, we really don't need it anymore. So yeah, sorry, big no on that one from me. Question number 2 is from Art Exercise, also on my Discord, and this was a question they actually asked to the entire of Discord. It wasn't really specifically for me or my podcast, but I thought it was an interesting question. And it was actually 3 questions, but it was all sort of part and parcel of the same one, and it was, how long have you been playing? How many new worlds have you started in that time? And how many times have you taken out the dragon in survival? Now, that's an interesting question, because I've been playing for a really, really long time. So I remember when the update 1.4.7 came along. For some reason, that update sticks in my mind, which was in the 9th of January 2013, according to the wiki. So I was obviously playing it from before that, but I don't know exactly when it was. Now, the main update before that was 1.3, which came out in August 2012. So I'm guessing I probably started somewhere between then and January 2013. That's when I probably started playing Minecraft. And I remember when I first started playing, and I was looking on YouTube and the internet for trying to figure out how to do things, and all that I could ever see was videos of the beta version of the game, and none of the stuff worked. And it was particular with minecarts. I really wanted to have a minecart system, and I couldn't figure out how to get minecarts to work and to set each other off and things like that. And before the official versions came out, minecarts behaved in a completely different way, and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working with what I was trying to do. I didn't realise that this game was evolving so quickly. The other thing that I really wanted was when pistons activated originally, if you had 2 pistons coming together with a block in the middle, the block would break and it would drop. And you could basically make crushing machines that you could feed blocks into it, and it would turn them from the block state into the item state, and you could collect them, which was fantastic. Although I don't think hoppers were in the game at that point. There might have been, I can't remember. But yeah, and I really wanted to do that. And again, when I actually found out that they'd taken that out of the game, which was really annoying because I thought that was fantastic. And that's something I'd really like in the game now. If you imagine you've got, let's say, a cobblestone making machine or a cobblestone generator, and at the very end of it, you've got 2 pistons coming in, one from either side. And as they hit the concrete, because you're exerting force on it from both sides, it would break into the item form. That would be fantastic. I guess the reason they probably took it out would because that would be very easy to cause, a lag machine, or basically a machine that would crash the game. If you had one of those on a big scale, you could end up with so many items, it would just completely lag out the game. So it's probably for that reason they took it back out, or maybe just because it was too easy to farm stuff. But that was fantastic. I imagine with that you could make like tunneling machines, you could have all sorts of really cool stuff. But yeah, sadly they took that away. So that's how long I've been playing, which is, I guess, more than 5 years, which it feels like I've been playing longer than that, but I guess not. And in terms of how many new worlds I've started millions of new worlds, but in terms of new worlds that I've actually properly played on, probably only 3 or 4. Because I'm not one of these that starts a world, plays for a bit, and then gets bored and starts again. I really do get invested in my worlds. And from relatively early on, I've been playing and doing it on YouTube as well. So I've been working in those worlds. I mean, my Java survival world was probably my original one, not the one I'm on now. The original one was probably the 3rd proper Java world I've ever had. The one before that is available from my Playtime server. You can actually go in and play on that. And most of that was done in creative mode or survival mode. I used to cheat quite a lot in the old days, which is where my original storyline came in. If you go right back in my YouTube, there was a storyline originally. It sort of faded out a little bit now, but the idea was my world was blown up because I was being told off by using creative mode too much, and I had to start an entire new world and was only allowed to go into survival mode. So that was how my original series started. So yeah, I've been playing it a long time. I haven't started that many genuine, actual, proper worlds. And in terms of taking out the dragon, I don't know, loads. I've killed the dragon loads and loads of times in survival, mainly as part of the server. I think on a few occasions we've killed him sort of 5, 6, 7 times on the trot. Me and Jack have killed him a bunch of times. I've killed it a bunch of times on my own. So I'd probably say, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 times genuinely in survival without cheats or creative mode. So yeah, I've done that quite a lot. So yeah, that's that's those questions answered. So I answered those a bit quicker than I thought I would, to be honest, but that's good because this podcast's already dragging on and I've not even got to the discussion yet. The last question is from Sean Mims on YouTube, and they said, do you think we'll ever see a Minecraft 2? Or will we just keep getting updates until the end of time? Well, I don't think we'll get updates till the end of time, because it will probably die before then. But I do definitely think we will not get a Minecraft 2. To clarify, that means I don't think there will ever be a Minecraft 2. And I think the reason for that is because Minecraft is such a unique, one-off special thing that happened. There's I don't think they would dare try and make a 2 because they'd never be able to replicate it. There have been loads and loads of like Minecraft knockoffs where people have tried to make the game but do it a bit differently, and they just haven't taken off because Minecraft has just got that one thing about it that makes it special that everybody got involved with, and it's so big now, it's a cult, it's a culture thing that you wouldn't replicate it. If they were to make a Minecraft 2, I think the only way they could do it would be to just make it exactly the same, but maybe in a different era, or maybe with the different things in the game, or slightly different things going on. Because at the moment, the Minecraft sort of, if you like, the age of Minecraft, the stuff that everything's set in terms of the style, is probably quite medieval. There's nothing certainly modern in it, there's nothing futuristic in it. Perhaps they could make a Minecraft in space, or, you know, something like that, something that's completely different, a different age, completely different blocks and stuff like that, and different gravity, different things like that, but still the core game is the same. You're still breaking blocks and placing blocks. Then you could potentially have a Minecraft 2. But most of that stuff could probably be done with data packs or add-ons now anyway. You know, you can certainly change the mobs on Bedrock Edition with add-ons, and the data packs are advancing and evolving on Java Edition all the time, and soon we're going to be able to have completely unique stuff going on that as well. So I don't see them doing a Minecraft 2 because you can do it in the game, or even just with a resource pack. You could make the world look like you're in space and have space type blocks just with a resource pack. So yeah, you really don't, it doesn't need to be a Minecraft 2 because Minecraft is just so flexible and so adaptable that you can do anything with it just by tweaking it or changing it slightly or altering it with a resource pack or a data pack. I don't see it happening, but it's a nice idea. So anyway, that's the end of the questions. Now we're going to move on to our first discussion, and this discussion is going to be about swearing. Swearing, and hopefully it won't contain any swear words, because that is the point that I'm going to get across, is there is no need to swear. And I don't mean in genuine, I don't mean like completely in life, but I mean as an influencer or a YouTuber or somebody, or a role model, somebody that is on the internet, out there for everybody to hear, doesn't need to swear. And these are my reasons. For my American viewers, what I'm not talking about is cursing rather than swearing. I suppose in some places swearing is to sort of swear you're going to do something rather than saying a bad word. I'm talking about cursing or cussing or saying bad words, basically saying things that you shouldn't say or words that are forbidden to get a reaction. And that's generally what swearing is for. It is a way to emphasize a statement or a joke, or, you know, to shout at somebody if you're mad at them, or when you stub your toe, you might let out a word that you wouldn't normally say. Now, I don't swear in any of my stuff online. I don't swear in my podcast. I don't swear in my videos. I don't swear on Discord. I don't swear when I'm talking to people in chat, and that is because I consider swearing to be rude, and not everybody likes swearing, not everybody agrees with swearing, and the other reason is, and the main reason is, that you don't know who is listening. When you're in real life and you're walking about and you're surrounded by certain people, you know who's there, and you can see who's there, and you can adapt your language and the way you are around the people that you're around. So if you're around adults that, you know, you like a group of blokes, for instance, get together at the pub, and there's no kids around, and there's nobody that's easily offended around, and they're all a bit laddish, then yeah, they'll probably throw a few words around that, you know, it's not going to offend anybody, not going to upset anybody. But when you do it online, or when you do it around kids or people that might be offended, I think it's really rude, and I think it shouldn't be done. So you need to... Oh, I don't know. It's a really tricky subject, I suppose. When you're younger, swearing is funny because it's taboo or it's not allowed. You're not allowed to do it, so it's funny. So when comedians try and make jokes and they use swear words to emphasize those jokes, generally you find as an adult or an older person those jokes aren't actually funny, because if you have to use a swear word to try and make your joke funny, then it's not a funny joke. A funny joke doesn't need swearing in it to make it funny. Now, a comedian that swears a lot isn't necessarily a bad comedian. It might just be that that's their type of person, or their personality is that they swear a lot, and if they're only providing humour to an adult audience, then it doesn't really matter. But if they have to add those words in to make their jokes funny or to make people laugh, then their jokes aren't funny. There's plenty of comedians out there that don't use bad language and tell amazing jokes and make everybody laugh. And a proper comedian doesn't need to use bad language in order to make their stuff funny. If you think when people are saying stuff and they're adding bad language in it and that's funny, then you've probably got a slightly immature attitude. And I'm sorry if I offend anybody with this. The reason I'm saying this is because of PewDiePie. In one of his recent videos, and yes, I do watch PewDiePie, and I actually think he's a genuinely pretty down-to-earth person. He's a bit nuts, but yeah, he's actually quite sensible and quite a bright bloke by the sound of things. But yeah, he obviously doesn't do a great deal of swearing in his videos now because YouTube are really clamping down on it, and they're making it a problem for people that like to swear in their videos by stopping them having advertising, and therefore they don't get paid. Now, when he released a couple of videos that did have swearing in it and they didn't get demonetized, he actually said that he had a couple of comments from people going, yeah, you can add swearing back in your videos now. And I just thought, well, why do they need it? He's actually really entertaining without those words in there. So why does he need to then, they don't need the swearing. So those people obviously just think swearing's funny. So I'm guessing those people are kids that have commented that want him to swear again because the swearing to them's funny, and that's probably funny because it's taboo. It's it's naughty. It's something they shouldn't be doing. I don't think it adds anything to it. I think when he's actually really entertaining and really funny and really enjoyable to watch without any of that. So that's one side of things. The other thing is, if you need to swear in order to, if let's say you're telling somebody's story or you're telling, you're trying to explain something to someone, if you have to swear in order to enhance that story or to get a reaction from whoever you're telling it to, again, your story is not an interesting story, or it's a boring story. You don't need to swear to enhance what you're saying. Sometimes, if you're talking, a group of adults talking together and they're using bad language, it just becomes part of the conversation. I do it myself when I'm around other people that swear. I adjust my attitude or my language to suit the environment I'm around. I don't know why I started talking about this topic now. I knew what I wanted to say, but I'm really struggling to get it out there. Something else I saw quite a while ago now on a YouTube video was somebody doing a vlog, and they were with their friend, and their friend said, I'm not going to censor myself. If I want to swear, I'm going to swear on these videos. And basically they generally did Minecraft videos, so they obviously had quite a lot of kids as their audience, and they got it in their head that not swearing on YouTube was nothing to do with being impolite or saying the wrong thing in front of your audience. They had it in their head that if you were holding back your bad language, that was because you were censoring yourself, and he wasn't he wasn't going to be censored. He was he wasn't going to have any of it. He wanted to say what he wanted to say when he wanted to say it. So he obviously enjoyed swearing. He obviously enjoyed using bad language, which is great. Fine, do that. But don't do it in your YouTube videos. Don't put it online when you're making kids' videos. Or if you do it, mark your videos as age-restricted content, which you can do on YouTube. You can say, this video is for adults only. You wouldn't go into a school or a nursery or a hospital or a library or a public place and start swearing your head off. But if you release a YouTube video, regardless of whether it's designed for kids or not, and you swearing all the way through it, you're influencing younger people because kids watch YouTube and kids find these videos and kids find swearing entertaining, as we've discovered already. So you've got to be a better person. You've got to be a role model. Swearing can be fun for adults. It can be part of a conversation. There's nothing wrong with it, but there are certain times that you just shouldn't do it, and you need to be responsible with it. Now, I'm fortunate in a way because I can turn it off and on. I can swear my head off around the sort of people I might hang about with for work, and I wouldn't do it around my family. I certainly don't do it around my kids. You can see I don't do it in my videos or my podcasts. I don't find it difficult to not do it. It just comes out naturally in the right audience and in the right environment. Anyway, I've waffled on about that. My point is, I suppose, at the end of the day, there is a time and a place for bad language. It can be funny, it can make things funnier, but generally it doesn't have to. Basically, what I'm saying is there is a time and a place for bad language, and I don't think that place is online. If you're online, if you're part of a group or a Discord or a community, or you're making videos, or if you're an influencer or a role model, then you should not swear, because you don't need to. You don't need to swear. If you're a comedian, or if you're making jokes, or if you're doing a blog and you're having to swear in order to make it shocking, or in order to make it interesting, in order to make your jokes funny, then you're not an interesting, funny, then you're not an interesting or funny person. If you need to add swearing in order to, in inverted commas, make your content better, then your content is rubbish, and you need to work on that rather than adding swearing in. And that might sound rude, that might sound like I'm putting people down. I'm not. It doesn't add anything to something, and there's no need for it in certain places. You just imagine when you're doing something for the internet that you are standing in the center of a school, or you're standing up in assembly at school in front of all your teachers and in front of all those students, older and younger than you. You just wouldn't do it, and there's no need to do it. So anyway, yeah, I'm not against swearing. I just think there's a time and a place for it. So that's enough on swearing. Let's talk about the main feature now, which I don't really have a great deal to say about, to be honest. I want to talk about these new lanterns, and I want to talk about the new textures in Minecraft. So I'm going to start with the lanterns, I guess. The lanterns look amazing. I'm really, really, really happy with how they look. The recipe is nice and cheap, albeit a little bit weird. And they are amazing because they can stick to the top of a block and hang down, or you can put them on top of a block. No, they can stick underneath a block and hang down, or they can stand on top of a block. If you have them hanging, they've got a little chain at the top, and if they're standing on a block, then they don't, which is really nice that they've got like a dual texture. And also they're slightly animated, a little bit like the sea lantern. The really nice thing is that they're a nice warm colour. They look like a light, and they don't look like a block that you're going to try and have to disguise. Like a sea lantern is generally white, but it doesn't go in builds unless your build actually fits with that texture or that colour. So it's really difficult when you're using sea lanterns to light up something, because you've got to try and disguise it somewhere. Same thing with glowstone and redstone lamps. Now, redstone lamps can fit with some designs a little bit more because they've got a bit of a pattern too, but glowstone's horrible. Glowstone just doesn't go anywhere. There's no design that has glowstone in it that looks nice, unless it's hidden behind a trapdoor or under a carpet or behind some glass or something like that. It just looks weird. So to have this that we can have in our rooms or on fences or as lampposts or dangling from the centre of the ceiling or on a bedside table or anything like that. It's amazing. I'm so excited, and I really am looking forward to adding these lanterns to my house in the Java edition, because I just think it's going to add so much to the game. There are a lot of things I think they could do with these lanterns to make them even better, which would be to make them so that they can stick to a wall. And I don't mean like a cobblestone wall. I mean like to the side of a building, rather than just underneath a block or on top of a block. If you could actually put them on the wall, that would be pretty cool. I'd like it if you could extend the chain on it to make them hang even lower down, maybe like with iron bars or something like that would be really good. And I'd also like it if you could dye them different colours to give off different light levels, but that at the moment, certainly in the Java edition of the game, would not be possible because of the light rendering engine just doesn't have that capacity to give off different coloured lights, and I think that would just really make life difficult for the game. But other than that, I think they're great. The crafting recipe's a bit weird. It's iron nuggets around a torch, which I get, but I would have imagined that you'd have glass at the sides, and maybe like in my mind, the crafting recipe should probably be like a bit of string in the middle at the top, iron nuggets in each of the corners, glass on each of the sides, and then your torch in the middle. Or even like a redstone lamp or a piece of glowstone in the middle rather than a torch. I like the fact that it's a torch in there because they're nice and cheap, and it makes it a really nice, cheap, easy way of doing it. But it just feels like a strange recipe to me. But yeah, they're going to be absolutely amazing. I'm really looking forward to them, and I really like the fact that it gives off a full light level as well. When they first released the picture of one on the on Twitter, they looked really dim. It didn't look like they were giving off much light, but it actually turns out they give off one extra light level than even torches do. So they're actually technically slightly brighter than torches, which is really nice because we're going to be able to light up a large area with them without actually spamming hundreds of them around. Having said that, if you've got it dangling from the ceiling, by the time the light hits the floor, it's going to be a lower level than it would if you just had a torch plonked on the floor. So maybe you will still need quite a few of them, I don't know. But yeah, they look great, and I think that all of these new textures and things that are coming to the game, I think are looking really, really nice. I see a lot of stuff on Reddit particularly and on Twitter of people really hating on these new textures, saying, oh, we don't want these new textures, what's wrong with the classic Minecraft textures, why have you got to change things? And I think they do need to change it. I think they need to find different ways of making Minecraft a little bit more fresh and a little bit more up to date. And just tweaking the textures here and there, I think really helps do that. We're not completely losing the old textures. We'll be able to select those from it as a resource pack within the game. So it's not like they're taking them off us, but they're just saying these are what we're now saying are technically the default textures. So we're going to be promoting these more than the default ones from now on. And I really like them. I like all of the new versions of them. All the different iterations they've come through, I think look really good. I can't say there's any that I dislike. They've made it a bit difficult to spot the difference between, is it gravel and like andesite now? That's really hard to tell the difference between. But other than that, I think they're great. I think they've got a really nice, crisp, clean look to them, and I'm really looking forward to them, actually putting them into the game. Now, both of these things, the lanterns, the lighting, and these new textures sort of are really hinting towards them actually at some point coming out with the Super Duper Texture Pack. Do you remember, it must have been over a year ago now, they teased this Super Duper Texture Pack where they were going to create an entire new texture pack for Minecraft, and it was going to have shaders built into it, and it had reflections and all sorts of really cool stuff that we'd never seen before in the game, and then all of a sudden it went really quiet. Now, if you talk to any of the developers, they very quietly say, oh, yeah, we're still doing it. We're still working on it. Don't worry. Yeah, it's coming. But no one's prepared to actually say when or why it's not come out yet or anything like that. And my theory is that not theory, I suppose, but looking at what's going on with Java Edition, particularly at the minute, I think they are slowly working towards it. I think they must have hit a massive snag at some point and gone, right, actually, we can't do this at the minute. There's just not, the engine's not there. But over the next two updates, or, in 1.13, they changed a lot of the rendering, how the game renders stuff. Again, in 1.14, they've added big changes to the lighting systems in Minecraft. To me, it feels like they're sort of slowly and gradually creating or improving or changing the engines of the game so that they can actually make this thing work without causing massive amounts of lag. It seems like they've got to rewrite certain ways or ways that the game actually processes light and stuff like that in order to add this thing. And I think maybe if they did it all at once, they'd either be too scared that it would all go wrong, or it would be too noticeable as players to see just everything all of a sudden change at once. So I think that's why they're probably gradually doing it. In terms of Bedrock, I don't think it would be so much of an issue for Bedrock Edition because it's just written differently anyway. So maybe it's just because you don't hear about it as much, but because Bedrock Edition is so much more optimized than Java Edition and so much less laggy on, if you got them side by side, they're Bedrock's way better in terms of optimization. I don't think it would be a difficult thing for them to add into that. I think you can already get some sort of shadery things on Bedrock anyway. I don't know whether you can get them from the store or if it's just texture pack stuff, but I'm pretty sure that that's already built into everything. But I think I think Java Edition's the one bringing out, or like slowing everything down on that. I think they had a good idea, and I think they wanted to really like push ahead with it, and then they realized how much of a big task it was going to be and how much of a problem it was going to be. So hopefully that'll come soon. We're getting loads of updates. We're getting loads of new stuff in the game. We can't complain about how much new stuff they're giving us. I don't mind if it takes a bit longer. I just wish they hadn't... I wish they hadn't like really gone on about it all that time ago, because it was just before they brought out... Was it the Xbox One? Or I can't remember. Yeah, I think it was just before they brought out the Xbox One X, maybe, or the Xbox version of Minecraft, I can't remember which. There was an edition that came out, and everybody was thinking, "Oh yeah, we're going to get that, and it's going to come out with the Super Duper Graphics Pack," and it just didn't. Nothing came, and then they were just really quiet about it, which makes me laugh. But hopefully it will come. Either that, or it will just fade into the distance, and we'll never hear about it again. Anyway, I've rambled on for far too long today. It's a long old podcast talking about absolute rubbish. I've rambled on about stuff that I don't know what I'm talking about with, and I've probably missed the point on quite a lot of things I wanted to get across. But anyway, my plans for next week outside of Minecraft, I'm going to be working again. I am considering looking at Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, it's the sort of game that I like, but I'm against playing it because I know it's just going to be a massive time sink, and I don't have any time at the minute. I do have the new Shadow of the Tomb Raider game to play. It's installed on my PlayStation, but I haven't started it yet again because I just don't have time to start another game on top of everything else that's going on at the minute. And I know if I start Red Dead Redemption 2, I'm just going to get sucked into it, and that'll be it. Minecraft will be gone, work will be gone, I won't do anything. So I really want to play that, but I daren't start it. In fact, I haven't even bought it because I daren't buy it because I know I will, that'll be it. That'll be gone. Inside of Minecraft, on Java Edition, I want to get my house finished. On Bedrock Edition, I've got no idea what's coming next. Not a clue. And I need to get a video out for next Tuesday on that. So between now and Tuesday, I'm going to have to come up with some ideas for what I'm going to do on Bedrock Edition. As for the next podcast, again, I haven't got any topic ideas that I've come up with yet. So I am open to comments. I'm open to suggestions. If there are things you want me to talk about, please let me know. And I will certainly think about adding them to the next podcast. Something to think about going forward. What do you think of swearing? What does swearing mean to you? Bad language. How do you use it? Do you think it's okay to use in front of kids? Do you think there's a time and a place for it, or do you think people should be more responsible when using it online? What do you think? Anyway, that's enough from me. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I've certainly enjoyed making it, and I will see you all, or I'll hear you all in the next one. No, I don't know. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!